Yo, are you a U.S. citizen
Today.
today?
It might change tomorrow.
Well, all right. I think I'm a U.S.
It
citizen.
depends if we become the United States of COVID-19 or not, and then everyone's a zombie. Then we're in like zombie land or
Oh, I'm not.
zombie nation or World War Z or
I don't
one of
know
those.
nearly enough of the zombie rules to be a citizen of zombie land at all, even a little bit. I would not survive.
But for now, the United States is currently intact despite leadership, and yes, I am a U.S. citizen.
Well, there are some people that would say that you're not, like you're a citizen of, what do they say, the United States Corporation, something something, and that this is here where we're all residing is actually Morocco. Did you know that?
It doesn't smell like Morocco. Morocco has a very doesn't Morocco have like a very spice and satin and like kind of like curry, like
a very distinct palate
kind of smell? Yeah.
Would you say? Yeah,
curry and satin and spice and
there's too
coffee.
many plain cheeseburgers here to be Morocco. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough culture here to be Morocco.
I've seen countless videos where somebody who is like, I think the name of the group is like Moorish American Nationals or something, but somebody from that group stands there and is like, all right, all you people on our land, you have 30 days to vacate property and give it up to a person that I gave a card to or something, and you get out, and we own your stuff. And the government, you're fake and you owe us $7 trillion in gold. Please deliver it to my house.
Well, I can imagine, like I'm a homeowner, and I can only imagine someone like showing up to my house like after I bought it. Like I've been living there, moved all my stuff in, and then they come up and they're like, "You bought a house in Morocco. This is my land. We didn't agree to sell it to you. Get out." And I'd be like, whoa, you have to go talk to my bank. I'm paying somebody money to continue living
This
here.
is clearly mine. Yeah. I've always thought, like, for the people, because they especially point out, like, hey, President Trump, give us blah, blah, blah. And given, well, whatever. I'd just love for them to show up at one of the like rallies, or just go to the White House and give that message to somebody there personally and see how that works out. And just see if
well, they would not only ban you from, you'd be flight banned. You'd be on a travel no.
So now you're in Morocco forever.
Yeah, when they're like, get this guy back to his country then, because he doesn't belong here.
Something went horribly wrong.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, who let this fucking person into our party? Like, who let this person in the door? Because obviously they don't belong here. So something's up. But yeah,
well,
I've like every map, like everywhere, like just as a thing, those maps are sold and it says United States of America. It doesn't say corporate American LLC of Morocco. Like who like. And I don't even, like, this could be another thing, but I don't want to get into the flat earthers thing. But like we've got pictures.
We're gonna hit them up at some point.
We've got pictures of the world from space, like it's round.
Fake news.
and how can we can even scientifically prove that the world is flat. We can scientifically prove that the world is round, but go ahead, anybody scientifically prove the world is flat using modern techniques, not anything that was long disproved in Galileo's time and shit. Like some serious stuff is what I'm talking about.
You know,
So.
what I've noticed is that with conspiracy theorists of all kinds, they live in this realm of moving goalposts, meaning that they'll tell you, well, prove to me that this is so. And when you do it, they're like, well, of course that person's going to side with you. They're part of the conspiracy. And it's like, well, then what the fuck are we talking about then? Like, I can't go up to you and say, well, now I've got proof, but you are just speaking out of the side of your face and just saying things. So at what point do we why are we talking? Like, you just believe what you believe and that's it? Fine, just do that.
And that's where I try and leave some of this shit, because people are going to believe what they want to believe, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense. You know, the argument of like religion and all that kind of stuff has been, you know, bounced around forever, because, you know, people want to make a decision and stick with it, and they're like, no, you need to follow mine, yours is wrong. And I'm like, well, then if that person was like raised that way, that means you're not only calling them wrong, you're calling their parents wrong, you're calling
all the
their grandma wrong. You know, like, this is how like they were raised to do all this stuff, and like you're just gonna be like, you're wrong, you need to come do this. And the other side says that, like, at some point, like, you'll make a decision, because whatever it is that you're doing or whatever decision it is that you've made works for you. And like, we've both got a friend that, like, one day while we were at work, he's like, guess what, guys, I'm Buddhist. And I was like, what? I was like,
yeah.
and if he found peace and prosperity or whatever in that, that's fine.
Enlightenment,
you know, because,
if you will.
And yeah, his level of enlightenment and joy and prosperity and you know, comfortableness with where his soul is going, that's one thing. But it's like, I can't hand you, you know, a stick and be like, this is gold. this wood. It was like, no, that's not how that works, because those things
that's where I think that's where the line is. And we did a whole episode talking about Galaxy's Edge, right? And while you were at Galaxy's Edge, you acquired some mementos that are very
dear. An arrangement of mementos.
Yeah, they're very dear. I mean, I think they're more dear to you by virtue of the fact that you own them, but they are almost just as dear to me by their existence, right? But I couldn't
the intrinsic meaning behind them. Yes.
Yeah. But I couldn't say to my bank, or you couldn't go up to your bank and say, hey, do you know that this is the Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker lightsaber, with the one that, you know, he built after Darth Vader chopped his hand off. And to you, that's priceless. This is a thing that, like, I would probably genuflect walking past it every day in my house if I had it. Right? But you don't understand. This is worth more than anything. You should absolve me of my mortgage. That's kind of like, so while it's in your house and you think it's worth $7 trillion, then great. But, you know, as much as you and I like revere and worship everything that is Star Wars, we can't go out into regular society and say, you know, like, point two fingers at somebody and expect them to grab their throat, because, you know, like that doesn't happen. And I think that, and so part of the reason, by the way, this is the End of a Species podcast. And
20 minutes in.
Yeah,
I
we
love it.
usually where we wait
It's amazing.
between 10 and 20 minutes to introduce ourselves because you should just fucking know who the fuck we are.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because we're in the middle of a very interesting time. Some people use hyperbolic language for it, and some people don't, and whatever. But the truth is, I've seen very little past. Like, well, I'm a bad example. I work from home, but most people around have seen very little past the end of their block for about a month now, and we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Of a virus that's hitting a bunch of people. And we have people out there that are like, this is fake. Whether or not, I mean, when presented with evidence or not, or whatever, and when given direction from experts to say, this is what you should do so that you do not contract this disease, and or if you're asymptomatic, pass it along to others. So I feel that
who may or may not be as resilient as you in fending it off.
Yeah, they might not have had Wheaties for a long time, or vitamin C pills, or Flintstones chewables, whatever the case may be. So to me, it's one thing. Like, you watch a show like Hoarders and you're like, it's one thing if it's like you have a shack isolated, nobody for miles around, and you have every bottle cap that you've ever opened, you keep it. Cool. But
as long as it's significantly like put away and organized and easily referenced and categorized and whatnot, sure, go ahead. I have a thing with Hoarders because like I can understand like this is my stuff. I like having my stuff because like but like organize your shit. Like I got a lot of shit. But it's all on shelves and in order and dusting and like it's arranged on a wall and whatever. Yeah. And like I can freely walk from one room to another without following a set path. Like
if that was to ever change, you would have a very swift. You'd have a very swift meeting of, okay, I love you all, but one of you motherfuckers got to go.
Yeah,
because you like your freedom of movement.
I do. But if you have 72 microwaves, like how many, like you can't eat as many TV dinners as you could cook. Not only do you probably not have enough outlets for those things, and like how many times do you have to go around the neighborhood and collect, discarded, lawn chairs? Because it's like, oh, like I get the people that like collect it and then take it to the dump for recycling. But why do you hang on to it? Why is it just sitting in your garage, yard, apartment, whatever? Anyway.
Well, again, the line becomes, if you have stuff, because why do you clean your house? It's because if you have a dirty house, it's going to attract vermin, and it's it's just not hygienic. You're not going to be as healthy.
You're going to get sick. You're not going to be able to go out and do the things you want to do as much. You're not going to be able to work as much to be able to afford the things that it is that you like to do, whether it's eating or buying things or going to Disney or, helicopter rides or skydiving, whatever it is, whatever your thing is.
If you live down like miles downwind and in low elevation where like you doing something doesn't roll onto somebody else, it doesn't matter. But like where I live, my neighbors, I could throw a paper airplane and hit their house. So, even if you live in a suburban nice house, your neighbors can do something that affects you. So if there's rats infesting in my house, it'll easily go over there. To bring it back to the Moors, the Moorish American Nationals, I think the idea is that we have certain things that, like, if I go to Italy, Europe in general, they drive on
non-specific.
yeah,
other
let's not
continent.
let's not single out a single country for driving on the wrong side of the road. Just Europe in general. In general, they use what is it? Celsius, milligrams, liters, fucking all that weird.
Yeah.
Because of the metric system shit.
They're on the metric system. We're on the imperialist system.
Tip of the hat to Quentin Tarantino, and the Royale with cheese shit and all of that. But having said that,
the fuck is a quarter pounder?
if I was to suddenly decide to live in the UK or Ireland or Italy or whatever, then I gotta get used to that shit. That's what those people, as a collective unit in that country, it has been decided that this is what we do. Now, I could go through the proper channels and say, look, real people use inches and miles and fucking pounds and shit. And pounds are weight, not currency. But I couldn't just declare myself, declare an entire country foreign because they don't do the thing I want them to do.
Especially if you're living in it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing here. Like, if you want this country to be called Morocco, right? The people in charge are those people in Washington. That's who's in charge. You can oust them.
The local government.
Yeah. You can oust them without an election, but they're probably going to take you out. So if you think that this place should be called Morocco, just get more than half of the 320 million people that live here to agree with you. And we'll all be wearing them funny hats and the fucking robes and shit. And doing, those
robes look comfortable as fuck. I like satin feeling.
They probably are. But if I can't wear Nike fucking slippers and fucking football jersey pajamas, I might if Sunday comes and there's no football, think about that. No football and no wings. Like right now there's no sports. But when this is over, there's no football on Sunday and no wings. I'll just let that sit right there. And that's the type of stuff I can't co-sign unless if the Moorish American Nationals were saying, look, we propose that everybody gets free wings every Sunday. All right.
You'd have a lot of people behind that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's people can.
Where do I sign up for that?
Behind.
But I just I don't know about you, but the shit I went through to get to buy my fucking house, and then you're gonna come around and be like, "Well, you're not a Moor."
Purchased yours.
Yeah, well,
you recently purchased yours, and you went through some shit because you were selling one and getting into another one, and
it was some
people were slapping you around. Basically, they're like, "Paperwork, smack," and you're like, "I did this already," and they're like, "Do it again."
And at every turn,
and there's a fee with it.
Yeah, at every turn, somebody wanted money, and you know that's what it is. So, having said that, if you then come up to me and go, "Hey, after you did all that shit, that's not yours. Turns out you bought a house in Morocco." We're gonna have a disagreement very fast.
Well, it'd be a disagreement of you're gonna have this is currently I feel in America. So if you want to take it from me and call it Morocco, I have a couple of rights I can enable.
Yeah,
you got to come take this shit.
I don't even have to dial a complete phone number to get people to come here and handle you.
Yeah,
as it turns out. So, I mean, we organically went to other stuff. I think it's the same thing with the hoarder situation. If you decided, as a society, it may not. In some cases, some of the stuff may not be written. There's nowhere that it says that you can't collect all the dryer lint that you've ever pulled out of your dryer and just put it in various places in your house. However, if that dryer lint is attracting insects and moths and shit, and now it's affecting me, we're going to have a problem. And so it's the same thing there, where it's like if you've decided to collect some stuff, like if you know what, it wouldn't be as popular. I was about to say like if birds were like if vermin carrying birds were attracted to lightsabers and like Star Wars memorabilia, we'd probably have to throw all our shit away. But then again, Star Wars wouldn't be as popular, right? So like,
Yeah. If every time you went and saw a Star Wars movie, someone kicked you in your testicles and then punched you in your face, just because it's like that's what comes with seeing a Star Wars movie, people would not see it.
Yeah.
or as much, Like,
or like every time you left every time you left Star Wars Celebration, there's a team of ostriches just looking at you like, did you buy memorabilia? We like the and they're chasing you. You'd probably be like, you know what? I'm good. I don't have to buy. I got enough shit.
Yeah.
So when it comes to hoarders, it's again this. I mean, I know there's a whole bunch of psychology behind it, but I'm gonna make fun of it anyway because that's what we do here at End of a Species. Just think, what about the people around you? Like people around you need to live too, and you might be affecting them negatively. That's for sure.
Oh my God. My self-centered, narcissism is fluctuating and falling apart now.
I shall be a good person. I know that's the argument that'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we started this whole Sovereign Citizen series talking about people that tell the cops, I don't need to have a license and that kind of stuff. And then we went to the little script that they use. And now we're talking about like people who this is really off the reservation type stuff. I won't name any specifics. And it in a way, it's bittersweet to me that over the last couple of years, so many sovereign citizens, especially like high profile ones, have been put behind bars. So many conspiracy theory. And the reason I say that is because when they're out and active, they enrich my YouTube feed. And it's funny.
It's a source of entertainment. It's, it's like going to the zoo, for lack of a better description.
Wow. Don't write emails. We don't look at those.
You can, you can write them. I don't know if anyone's going to look at them, or they might just get sent to our special filing.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. My delete button is starting to fade from how much I use it on the actual email.
Well, you should use the print more, because you should print some of those shitty things out so that you can use them, because toilet paper is at a premium right now.
Oh, it's so expensive. Just to take a little detour real quick, there were some stores here that in the thick of it, when it was at a shortage, were charging like triple for toilet paper. That did not last.
Yeah.
That was
that's dirty.
Crushed. It's really bad.
Well, who is the guy? One of the guys I work with, was saying that he bought some of those N95 masks or whatever, those ones that are rated by the World Health Organization to protect you from the coof.
Yeah,
and he said that he went out trying to find some, and all the stores were out. And this was before March hit. So before the country started getting shut down, just when we were starting to get cases in the United States. And so he couldn't find any, so he went on eBay. And he got 10 masks for $120 or some shit. I was like, dude, that's dedication. He's like, I just, I want to protect myself and my family, and I applaud him for that. But the person he bought that from, there's a special place in hell.
Yeah,
for that guy.
100% agree. Especially if there's the disposable joints,
Yeah, they're not the long term washable ones. Like they're the ones that's like, oh, it's got like a rubber band and shit on it, or elastic or whatever it is. Like 2-3 uses max, and then you out. So
yeah, I really think the second they cash that check, they should get like some sort of like you should start seeing
cancer.
Well, no, you should start. Well, maybe that, but you should start seeing like the black coming in from their extremities. Like this is going to reach your soul.
Oh, what was that movie? Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean, when he's got the black mark on his hand, and it appears, and like, you done fucked up now.
Yep, that's exactly it.
This is black, oily, greasy thing that's on his palm, so you can always know that, like,
oh, you know what? You know what should happen? Brad Pitt's character in Inglourious Basterds should show up. Like you one of them assholes, and when this is all over, you're gonna take your asshole hat off and just be a regular person. Well, I don't agree with that, and then just carve asshole into your forehead. I like that. I think we should propose that alongside all the other stuff that they're proposing to fix COVID-19. But yeah,
I mean, we could. Yeah,
that's what it is.
There's a difference between like ticket scalpers for like Lakers tickets, and then ticket scalpers for like
life-saving shit.
You want to be able to breathe, right? You want to be able to breathe. You got to get this. Like, what is it?
I bought it all.
Mortgage.
Yeah,
I own all of it.
Nah,
and the same place with those people that like go to like day one release of like a toy, around Christmas time, and they buy all of them, and then they sell them for like $150. It's like a Barbie or a Tickle Me Elmo or whatever, and it's like normally $15.99, but desperate parents, and then it's like $150.
Yeah, if you do that with like a PlayStation 4 or 5 when that comes out, whatever, you're probably gonna at this point you're probably gonna take a loss anyway, because most people now are used to the fact that in a couple months they'll have tons of them.
Yeah.
But if it's something where you're dealing with like a 5-year-old's Christmas, that's that black mark on your hand. It's you got to get hit with that. Now we took a huge tangent, but that was all to say that that's why I'm kind of sad that a lot of sovereign citizens are finding like long-term jail sentences now, because it's one less thing to make fun of. Although I do agree that if you're, threatening mutiny on the government, like not mutiny, but like if you want to usurp the federal government and put in your own because you misread the Treaty of Peace and Friendship from 17 something, and you decided that that's what it is now, but you got to go and get all of the Whitey's houses. You probably should. You probably should. And the other thing that stinks is that a lot of these guys, they do these seminars to tell you how to become a Moor and how to declare your nationality. And so you pay. I mean, it's not I don't think they charge a ton of money, but you're paying.
It's probably somewhere around $150 for a seminar to like rent out the lobby of a Hilton or whatever.
Yeah. And then
unless they're doing it in the back of their plantation somewhere.
Well, but what you're doing is you're paying for somebody to tell you how to get arrested, which is basically what they're doing, because they're like, well, when the cops show, because here's something that a lot of these groups do is they'll teach you how to find a house. Like, say you went on vacation, or say you're with some of the older folks, they might be snowbirds. They go from New York down south to like Florida, Georgia, wherever, and they stay there for a few months for the winter. And then
because their bones can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, but while they're gone, so these guys will go into their house. Now, I'm not talking about they're homeless and they're squatting and they're not able to do. I mean, these are able-bodied people who just decided, hey, I went to this seminar and it told me that, I'm royalty from the Moroccan line because I have this card that they sold me for who knows how much money. And now they're in your house, sitting there. and
bare ass watching your TV,
well,
sitting on your
just
couch.
chilling in your house. And if you go to like get them like you, in some cases, because they moved in, some states have these laws where you have to go evict them if they're squatting, because there's squatters' rights, right? And if
Yeah.
you go through that whole process, they go and tell the police like, nope, and they pull out this year smartphone and start hitting record. So they're like, oh, now I'm taping you and I'm going to sue you. I'm not going to say that's dangerous, like to a violent extent, but who wants that? You know what I mean? Like, if it's one thing if like you're a greedy CEO and you killed kittens to get to where you are, and somebody thinks that on principle they should do some Ocean's 11 on you. It's still illegal, but at least I'm like, okay, I get it. But somebody who worked,
but random Jew citizen who's just
yeah,
like basically jealous that like you've got stuff that they don't or whatever, you know,
and
that's
they don't want to
completely
work
different.
the current system. Like, you don't want to work this current system that we have. You don't believe in it. You don't want to do anything to change the current system. You just decided this is the rule now, so this is what I'm going to do.
And it's a fake rule.
Yeah, it's this fake rule where either you've decided I'm going to read, I didn't go to law school, but I'm going to read law X and interpret it the way that goes in my favor without consulting a lawyer, because again, moving goalposts, the lawyers are part of the conspiracy too. So what's the point of, like whatever. Or you just decided, well, I really don't like it. So this isn't really a country. This is people who are subservient to, I'm the king. I'm the king. And whatever, you should be made fun of. And there's been a decline in these taser videos that I used to love. People might hate me for saying it, but I think the tasers, the tasings should increase for those types of things. Like,
Probably.
I think of an older couple that like both people worked. One worked in like the education system for 30 years. And I don't give a damn how nice a person you are. If you survived any public education system for 30 years, you're a fucking saint. And like, even in the nicest town, because every 15-year-old in the country, every single one is an insufferable asshole. So
Yeah.
God bless you for having done that. And then the other person in the relationship worked in a fucking factory for 30 years and is living off their pension. And they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they worked, they saved, they scrimped where they could. They raised a couple of kids. They bought a house, and then maybe they rent a house in the winter, and they go to whatever, New Orleans or Texas, Florida, wherever, for 6 months. And when they come back, there's some weird couple in a dashiki and a fucking muumuu, like, you are not American. This is Morocco. Like, fuck you. Get the fuck out there. And so that's what I'm thinking of. It's not like, oh, this person grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. There are a lot of people out there that go through the regular system. And, and they do everything that they're supposed to do. Do everything Hulk Hogan told you to do in the 80s. And fucking, yeah. So the sovereign citizen stuff, in whatever flavor it comes in, it really just does more harm than good.
Right. It's a detriment to our society and the general ways of people thinking and growth and personal development and just it doesn't. It's a place that's looking to or a way of life that's looking to crash social norms for no other reason than to break social norms. Like stuff that's working or not hurting anybody or whatever, like it's just causing additional yuck.
Agreed. So I might leave some links to some of the places that expose some of these groups.
You're gonna let your secret out?
Maybe
That's
I
how you
might
get this
in the
information.
if you don't see it in this description, just say Jeff chickened out. But it's very likely you'll see like some links to places that you can follow on YouTube that'll give you more information on this stuff. This is probably going to be like a shorter episode, which is where we're at right now. But that's cool because at least I got it off my chest. You got it off your chest. We fucking vented about these funny people who will eventually
These useless people.
Well, yeah, and
well, I mean, I always want to like. I should take a class or something.
GameStop.
Like,
oh, sorry.
Your Tourette's is acting up again.
Sorry, it just came out. My apologies. Continue.
I should take a class or so to see like, because like I can understand sometimes how a cult gets started. A particular guy who's got just a high enough of a charisma score to like swindle some other people into like following some of the same ideas as he has, and then over time you kind of build it up into like, I am a messiah of such and such and such and such. All of these people follow me for the reasons or whatever, and sometimes people are like looking for something that they're not finding in their friends or family or society, so they're looking for something. But it always makes more sense when it's, to me, it makes more sense when people fall into that kind of a thing because it's more spiritual and less logical. Like, but like I want to know who's like reverse engineering these like basically like pseudo national treasure movies of like how America was once Morocco. It's like, oh, if you go and follow the dollar bill and the Illuminati and then the bell tower at the Times, and if you have to look through it through 3D glasses, and then you see that like it's George Washington giving the middle finger to King George, and like he's signing a thing, but on the thing he's signing it says, we establish the United States as a corporation that will be subservient to the nation of Morocco. Or like where?
That sounds reasonable. Where do I get more information and join your group? I'd like to be a part of that somehow.
Where does that start? Like I should find like some, the psychology of cultism or cults or something along those lines.
Do research for the show? Is that what you're
suggesting? Why not? Well, I'm suggesting doing something that I'm personally interested in.
Oh, okay. That I was about to say sacrilege.
That would also in turn just benefit the show. Like, we'll go and watch a movie and then have a discussion about it. We basically did research for the show. So,
well, that's different. That's like us telling you about our trip to church.
Sure.
That we were going to anyway. No, but I get it. Like, I think what we'll, if I had to guess, because that's what it is. I'm not a pro, but you see blooms of this kind of stuff in times like what we have right now. So you have a lot of people that suddenly find themselves out of work, and a lot of people that are not sure where their next meal is coming from or where their next whatever is coming from. And next thing you know, here comes somebody that says, hey, I have the answers. If you do this, everything will be fine. And in some cases, it's something as simple as, a televangelist that says, give me your money and, things will be great. And, that does have, when misapplied, it can be harmful. But in other cases, it's people that just give you something that seems like a wonderful shortcut. And you're so sick of going through a broken system of some kind that you're happy to go, so wait, all I have to do is post a piece of paper with my signature and my thumbprint in blood on the window of Adam's house, and it's mine now while he's on vacation? Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. And to some people, that might seem like a reasonable thing. Like, okay, fine, I'll do that because saving money wasn't working. I just lost my job. So, yeah, I think that's where you see it is like people losing their logic in desperation. The rest of it doesn't make sense. Like cult mentality in general just doesn't make sense to me because I follow only like one cult and not even well. Like I follow it, but I still, participate in regular, normal, polite society.
Well, I mean, but like this is the choice of making the decision to be like, I'm going to go and give it to my government because this place should be Morocco. Like, as opposed to like, you're downtrodden and you're out of work and like you can't feed your family. Come to our compound where we can all live in harmony, and then you can just till the soil and eat the fresh fruit like that. Like,
hey guys, if you ever do that, if you ever go to till the soil and blah blah, do not eat the fresh fruit. I'm not I'm not an expert, but I have a feeling that's not going to end up the way you think.
If you pick the fruit and eat it right then and there, maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
But if they juice it later and give it to you as a group, probably not.
Yeah, that's a bad move.
That's a bad idea. So
make sure you yourself remove the cap from any, like, you ought to hear that.
If you don't hear the release of the pressure, somebody's done something to it, and you're in trouble.
And you're either going to end up dead or doing something that when you see yourself back on tape later, you will woefully regret.
Which will also, if you survive, will be listed as Exhibit A.
Yeah, that's Exhibit A in your trial for... And not even in your murder trial, in your trial to see if you're able to stand trial.
Your competency hearing.
Your competency, yeah, that's the term. Thank you. But I think you've convinced me. I want to do research with you on this cult thing because there's so many of them. Like we make fun of sovereign citizens because it's easy, right? Like obviously, I grew up in New York. You grew up, in where we are, on location. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we're not in the same room. It sounds like we are, but we're not. But we are like remote somewhere and
on location.
And it doesn't matter anywhere you go. The idea that you're gonna see the flashing lights in your rear view mirror, and you're just gonna be like, the license. I gotta give you shit, copper, and that's gonna go well.
Yeah,
it's laughable. But again, you have these people who just tell you didn't know. A lot of people don't realize, and I've seen tapes where people just go up to the cop like they're giving them a lesson, like, "Oh, that's not." They don't tell you that at the academy. Did you ever think there was a reason they don't say that at the? They tell you don't shoot people in the face for no reason at the academy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do. They have a specific thing where they go, look, here's the levels of things that you can do to someone when they are non-compliant. Right?
Yeah.
And make sure you do. You have to. It has to be this level. Like they say that, but they didn't tell you. They forgot to tell you that you don't need a license and that this is Morocco. They left that out.
Yeah.
How convenient. It's all part of the conspiracy.
You get your certification for the appropriate state that you'll be working in, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, P.S. down here it says property of Morocco." Yeah, they don't. I don't think there's a whole lot of that. So.
You got to make lieutenant to get the real juicy bits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
lieutenant, captain, something like that.
all of that.
Major.
You
There's a
know,
lot of places. There's a town nearby where we live. They have officer, sergeant, and it's the chief, and that's it. that's the levels of power. It's because they don't have enough people, to really warrant a really high command structure. But like, there was a while that like the chief was replaced by the mayor, who's
now,
not a cop, but he was just making policy like he is.
now the chief and the mayor, they're the ones that know that this is. They have the
Yeah.
documents that nobody has. They have access to those. Now, to wrap up, I want to say this. We were going to do a stream today instead of recording. There were a couple of things that led to us recording this episode, aside from the fact that it's just fun. We've been getting a decent increase in subscribers. And what I'd like to see, and tell me if you're good with this, is if we get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, I think that would trigger us where we could say, you know what, let's do some streaming, some live streams.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
We'll make
stuff
good
to me.
Make fun of stuff in real time.
Yeah.
So
to see how terribly we play a game.
Word. So, now, I'll say this. If you want that, then just tell your friends to subscribe. And,
they don't have to watch it. We'll just
it'd be nice if they did, because
get them enlightened. Let them. We're entertaining as hell.
In case they didn't know that this isn't Morocco.
Yeah. In case that their dad told them something weird, and they just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And now it's something else.
Now, in the spirit of this sob sit whatever, if somebody can give me the title, there's a video out there where a guy gets pulled over by the cop. His wife is in the car. And when he starts doing the sovereign citizen nonsense, his wife just gives him the shut the fuck up and makes him hand over his license. I don't want to link to the video because I'm not going to click on any links y'all put in the comments. Jeff is smarter than that. But I want somebody to give me the title of the video that has that. And it could be more than one. I think it's in more than one place. But if you can give me that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. You'll have our respect.
Yeah.
Which is not something that comes easily.
Well, I'm Zeus N, letter N, Jeff, at Twitter. And
I am... go ahead.
No.
I want to cut you off.
That was the segue right there.
Oh, and I am at Tatooine Hermit on Instagram. So come find me there. I don't remember the last time I posted on Instagram.
A happier time, probably when you were at Mecca.
But then go on down there and like and subscribe. Hit that like button, give us your thumbs up, and then hit that bell notification. You'll be advised of all the times that we go on and post a new video. Message be sent to your phone or your email or wherever you dadgum get it, and you can come back and watch us, listen to us. It'll be a good time.